Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be doing my end of the year TBR. Or should I say hopeful TBR, because I am just really not the best with sticking to a set list of books, because I just change my mind all the time. Sometimes I just don't feel like reading a book that I said I was going to read, and then I just don't do it. But there are a few books that I really want to read before the end of 2020, some of which I already own, some of which I still have to buy, and some of which aren't even released yet, but they're set to release later this year. This video is no, I'm not. I'm kidding, it's not sponsored. I have a whole stack of books here. A whole stack. Yeah, so all of these, and then a few different ones. I don't know where to start, but I guess I'll just start by what's on top. These are in no particular order, by the way. I'm just now grabbing them by which ones are on top. There's one book that I am prioritizing because I just have to read it. I've been pushing it off. It's so loud here. Also, it's so windy, and I'm like scared that the house is gonna like break or something. Anyway, so yeah, let's get into the list. The first book I have is Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. Obviously, you all know. I've owned this for I think 2 or 3 years now, and I've not read it. I think it's 3 years actually. I really wanted to read it. I got this when there was so much hype for... It's a little dark, isn't it? I don't know if this helps or if this is actually very annoying, but I hope it helps. Back when there was like a lot of hype for the TV show, and I didn't want to watch the show solely because I was hell-bent on reading the books first. Then I watched 1 episode of the show and then refrained from watching more, but still never read the books until I eventually kind of lost interest. But I really just feel like I have to read it, although there are so many and they're so thick. And I feel like it is a very, very long-winded story. But I am going to try to at least read the first one and see how I feel about it. If not, I'll just either donate or sell the... Ooh, pretty. I'll just donate or sell the whole thing. I don't like the paper of this set. It's very thin. It's very annoying to me. I don't like thin paper. It is one thing that makes me want to buy hardbacks more often because the paper is generally a higher quality, I think, because they are more expensive anyway. But yeah, so this one is on my TBR. Then the next book I have on here is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This book is about 2 friends, Ezra and Daisy, who are like on the hunt for a fugitive, and if they find them, they get a $100,000 reward. And basically along the way, a lot of things go wrong, and Ezra is struggling with trying to not have like her whole life fall apart and still keeping up with this pursuit they have going. I want to read this because a friend of mine was reading this recently and she said that she was really loving it as far as she got, and it just sparked me to like finally read this. I also picked this up about a year ago. I have plenty of books that I just haven't read because the thing with me is I keep buying more books, which then eventually pique my interest more than the ones I already have, which puts a lot of the books I had prior on the back burner, which I'm really trying to not buy as much books and read what I have first. Also, I should say, I'm not really a John Green fan. I don't like I've read basically all of his books before this. I don't think if it's all of his book, but I read The Fault in Our Stars. I read Will Grayson, An Abundance of Catherines. I read Looking for Alaska. I read Paper Towns, I think. And Looking for Alaska, I DNF, but I just didn't really like any of them. The only one I really liked was Will Grayson, which I feel like is one of his books that gets like the least publicity. And I'm just like, why though? Because I really like it, but that. So I'm wondering how I'll feel about this book. It's not that long, so I feel like I can get through it easily. And even if I don't like it, it'll be a quick read, so that's why I'm not really too hesitant about it. The next book I have on my stack here is Embassy Town by China Mayville, I think it's pronounced. This author, I bought this at a thrift store. I didn't know who this author was, And for some reason, the name China, like the first name China, just made me think of a woman. And then I opened it up. Can you see what this dude looks like? I think he looks so awesome. I feel like authors always have this like polished look, and to see someone that has like 10,000 earrings and he's like bald and he just looks really badass, I don't know, it was like a breath of fresh air in a sense. But yeah, I'm really struggling giving you a synopsis about this book because there are so many like weird things going on here that I have no clue, because I haven't read the book. I have no clue on how to like tell you what it is about. So I'll just read you the back. It says, Avis is an immerser, a traveler on the Immer, the sea of space and time below the everyday, now returning to her bird planet. Here on Arica, humans are not the only intelligent life, and Avis has a rare bond with the natives, the enigmatic hosts who cannot lie. Only a tiny group of unique human ambassadors can speak language and connect the two communities. But an unimaginable new arrival has come to Embassy Town, and when this ambassador speaks, everything changes. Catastrophe looms. Avis knows the only hope is for her to speak directly to the alien hosts, and that is impossible. It sounds like very interesting, even though I can't pinpoint storyline. It just sounds really interesting and new. So I'm very intrigued to see like what this is about and where it goes. Next up, Broken Throne by Victoria Averitt, the last book in the Red Queen series. I started reading this already a little while ago. You would have seen, if you watched my, I think it was my reading vlog for the Institute, you would have seen that I bought this and I was very hyped about it. So I am still very hyped about it because I need a good conclusion, unlike the one that we got, or that I thought we got in Warstorm. So yeah, it's just the last book in the Red Queen series. And yeah, I'm just interested to see how it ends. Now the book I was talking about, the one book I was talking about when I said I would prioritize a book. Yes, you have already seen this. This was in my October TBR. And I did not end up reading it because it was still so thick. And there were... I read the other books. Did not read this one though. I could have read it. I feel like I probably should have read this book when I was doing my 24-hour readathon, because I could have I could have finished it, but I was just not feeling it. Like I mentioned at the start, I really am like someone who reads based on like on my mood and what I'm feeling like. And in October, I was not feeling like this. But I am reading it now, so rest assured. The thing about this book though, it's making me very nervous because it has like, it is very heavy on the quantum science. Like, I don't know if it's like hard to understand for someone that doesn't necessarily understand. Did I say quantum science? I meant quantum physics. I hope I didn't say quantum science. Just pretend you didn't hear anything, okay? So, Seven Heavens by Neil Stevenson is about, it's like a post-apocalyptic book about finding a new world to live when Earth is like rendered unlivable or undeemable for survival. And they come up with this plan to ensure survival like outside of our atmosphere. Then 5,000 years later, the like procreation of the survivors go on another mission. And guess where they're going to? An alien world. And that alien world is Earth. So it's like a full circle moment, and I'm just very interested in to see how they want to do this. And it just sounds super, super cool. What like grasped my attention in the store was the cover, because I love green. Like this lime green was so pretty. And the fact that it's thick. One thing I always do, and I don't know why I do it. See, thick books scare me. But when I go to the bookstore, the books I gravitate towards most are the ones that are thickest. Why? I don't know. It's like this inferiority complex within me that's like, you have to read big books. So that book. Prioritizing this when I finish the Red Queen one, the Broken Throne, I'll be picking up this one like instantly because I have to get through it. Even if I read this throughout the next 2 months, like at a glacial pace, I still want to finish this. I don't want to bring this this heavy brick along with me into 2021. Like, I need space because 2021 has a lot of awesome releases I'm looking forward to. I will also be doing a most anticipated 2021 releases video, so you'll hear about those later, but I don't want to bring too many old books into 2021 because there's so many new books coming out that I'm interested in reading, and I'm just trying to not put too much pressure on myself. Then the last physical copy I have is The Theronauts by T.C. Boyle. I've heard this book being described as Hunger Games, but better and more interesting. That is not shade towards Hunger Games. I didn't say it. I just heard it from people. So I didn't necessarily like Hunger Games, the movies at least. I never read the books. So I can't judge on that. But I didn't necessarily find the movies all too interesting. Like, it was fun, but it was dragging on for too long. And I was like, okay, I'm done with it now. So to have this in one book, I don't know, it sounds good. So to give a small synopsis, The Theronauts is basically about a group of 8 people who get put in this like dome, and then they just have to survive. And there's like fierce competition between them, fighting over crops and livestock, and it's more like real life stuff. A few key differences though between the Hunger Games and this one is the fact that you don't fight for your life in this book. You just have to survive and don't exit the dome. Basically, when you exit, you're out. And people want to take part in this. I think there's like some prize. It doesn't say though. I hear this is set in like 1944 or something like that. Or was it 1844? I'm not so sure of when this was set. But it's not in the current day, at least, as far as I know. But an interesting story to me, and I'm very excited. I just thumped the book down. I'm very excited to be reading this one. Now on to the books that I don't have a physical copy of. The first book that I have yet to order is The Invisible Life of Eddie Larue by V. Schwab. I think we all know what the book is about. It has been talked about a lot, and I am giving into the hype because I've not heard bad things about this book yet. I've heard someone say that it was not as good as it was like set out to be, I guess, or talked about, but I have mostly heard good things, and I've mostly seen like a lot of the booktubers I watch have given it like 4 or 5 star reviews, so I'm very, very excited for that. But still give you a small synopsis. The basic storyline is the fact that there's this girl, Eddie Larue, who makes a deal with the devil to live forever. So she gets immortality, but in return, everyone she meets forgets her. Until there's like this one guy who remembers her. And that's like the main plot line. I'm interested to see if I'll like it as much as everyone else. Because booktubers that have like similar reading taste as I do have really liked it. So I am very, very intrigued. And I hope I'll like it. But I'm also a bit scared. Whenever books get a lot of hype, it kind of freaks me out because I feel like I must like it. I don't know why I feel that way, but when everyone likes something, it's like this kind of like herd mentality or whatever. Everyone likes something, I want to like it too. Otherwise, I feel like, you know, am I reading this book wrong? Am I reading something else than other people are reading? So yeah, bad book. The next book I want to read is A Universe of Wishes by many, many different authors. It is a collection of stories, if I am correct. It is coming out on December 8th. So that'll be a book that I read towards the end of the year because it obviously hasn't released yet. I don't know too much about the stories that are in there. I just know that a lot of authors that I really enjoy are authors on this book. So the cover, as you can see, the cover is just very, very beautiful. It like, I don't know, I looked at it, I was like, yes, I want to read that. And then I saw the author, I was like, yes, I want to read that. So that's a book I'll be picking up whenever it releases. I'm interested to see what kind of stories are in there and who wrote what, basically. The last book I want to read this year is These Violin Delights by Chloe Gong, if that's how you pronounce it. I hope I pronounced that well. It is set to release November 17th. So when you'll be seeing this, that's about, what, 2 weeks still, I think? The synopsis to me is very weird. I couldn't totally like grasp what the plotline was. I just know that it's about like two competing gangs in the 1920s. There are two competing gangs, and something happens in which the town is just like in shambles, and there's a lot going on, and there's talk of monsters and like very weird stuff. And these two competing gangs like set their differences aside and work together to defeat this like bigger evil. And it sounds cool. To me, it sounds kind of like royal gang crime or something. It's a very weird like combination of things. It might be the sword. It might be the sword on the cover that is making me feel like royalty. Or it might be the mention of that there's like this girl, Juliet, I think. And she's the heir to a gang. And heir is obviously a royal term. So to me, it just sounds very royal gangster. Interesting combination. Never like seen that before. But it does sound very good. And I'm very interested in it. So the expected publication is November 17th, and I'll be picking that up. And I can't wait. So that is a total of, let me count. That's a total of 9 books, which is a book a week, give or take. And that is not too bad. I feel like I can do that. So those are all the books I want to read in 2020. I can't guarantee that I'll actually be reading those because I am flaky with TBRs. It's just hard. It's just hard being someone that reads almost solely based on my mood. The worst part about that is, slightly off topic, but the worst part about that is when there's like a new book coming out and I'm super excited for the book. So I pick it up, like full price, brand new, hardcover and everything. And then I just don't read it. And it gets put on the back burner for months on end. And then I could have gotten the book later on cheaper, but no. I'm very impatient and I'm very like, I do everything based on emotion and on whim. So I just hope I can finish these, and I just hope when I buy the new releases that I want to buy that they don't get put on my back burner also. So yes, that was everything I had for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which books you'll be reading in 2020 and if any of the ones I'm reading are also on your TBR. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe if you think I am an interesting personality and want to see more of my videos. If not, that is also totally fine. Thank you for watching today, and I hope to see you in my next video. Good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I hope it's amazing. Bye, guys. The next book that I want to read, Scheisse.